everyone. Welcome to the Align Your Life show. Super excited to be here, the first show of 2016. So welcome back from the holidays. Yes, hope you had a wonderful holiday and are having a happy new year. My name is Jenny Parks. I'm a health and prosperity professional. This is the Align Your Life show where we bring you tips and information that serve your greater good and well-being. My guest today is Casey Vanputten. Hello, Casey.
Hello, Jenny. Thank
Welcome.
you for having me.
So excited
First
you're
guest
here.
of the year.
First guest of the year. What an honor. Yes. Holla. Casey Vanputten is a certified counselor and EFT practitioner. So if you're not familiar with EFT, it is the emotional freedom technique, and she will be assisting us with really understanding just what that is, maybe some of the science behind it, and really how it can help you in so many facets of life because it's extremely diverse and it's really for everyone. So I'm excited to talk about that. Casey and I actually met at Superheroes in Fishers, and that is a place basically where it's all about empowering children, teens, and women to really step into the superhero within. Yep. And live from that place within all the time. And so she was putting on an introductory workshop for EFT. I happened to find it on Hamilton County calendars, which is online, and randomly one night, you know how that works. And so just decided to go, and I was fascinated by what I learned, and we actually went through some of the techniques too. So that was super fun, and Casey's just extremely passionate about what she does. So thank you again for being here. I'm really excited to have you.
Thank you. I'm playing with my putty here.
Awesome. So, and we'll talk about that too.
Yes.
She also brought a lot of really fun stuff. So, stress relievers for kids and for adults too, because who doesn't need that? So let's start with Superheroes first of all. It's in Fishers. It's a fairly new facility. Been around for a while, but you've just added a lot of fun things. So tell us a little bit about what goes on there.
Yeah, well, I had drove by Superheroes a million times, and I thought it was a karate place. Like, I did not even know what was in there. And it wasn't until I saw Elizabeth Kramer's picture in the Current, and she was talking about how she was starting this up and trying to empower children and families, and I just got really excited about it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've seen that place before. I drive by it every single day. It's right by Kroger. And so I emailed her, and I was like, I am interested in what you're doing, and if you're looking for anyone to be on board, like, this is really cool what you're doing.
Awesome.
So I met with her like that week, and when I walked in there, I was just like blown away. And I think you noticed that too.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, the way that it's decorated,
it is, yeah.
like she built this place from the ground up. She did everything. And so the colors, the way she's painted it, the decorations, like we have a craft room, we have this gorgeous group room, which is where we met.
Oh, it's beautiful. I just want to hang out in there
I
endlessly.
know.
Such great energy.
Yeah, and they're like Pier 1 like chairs,
Yeah.
and like it's just super fancy. And then she's got like this gorgeous like individual office where it's like teal and just like pretty pictures everywhere. So I was like, oh my gosh, like I would love to just be a part of this. I want to be a part of what you're doing, and to work here would be it just would be amazing.
Yeah.
So what Superheroes is this we're just trying to, like you said, empower children and families. And it's not really so much counseling. We try and be more preventative and proactive.
Love
and
that.
The step before counseling.
It's
counseling
almost
gets a bad rep sometimes.
It's almost like a holistic approach to counseling, even though a lot of counseling is just a lot of talk therapy. But sometimes there can be medicines involved and things like this. But this is more of kind of a holistic approach to that type of
and
work.
just like those average like bubble kids that just need a little extra support. Like that's what it's there for. And the location couldn't be better.
Right.
We're right in the middle of like all of these schools and right on Oleo, and so I think what she's doing is very neat, and I'm just really excited to be a part of it right now.
Awesome. And I know Superheroes has some really great things coming up, so we'll get into that at the end of the show.
Yeah.
Some different workshops and fun things going on in 2016. But let's talk about EFT.
Okay, we're going to get right into it.
Yeah, let's just get right into it. I'm
Okay.
super excited. There's so much to talk about. Again, it is so diverse. But emotional freedom technique. So I wasn't very familiar with it. I knew that it had something to do with tapping. Really had no idea what to expect, and it can seem a little weird.
Yeah, no, it's totally weird.
Yeah. So,
let's just put it out there right now. Tapping is super weird.
Yeah, you're tapping on yourself, and it's like, okay, really, what is this doing?
What is this doing?
So let's just start with, what is it specifically? What's the best way to explain what this is?
Okay, so I was actually, and I explain it different every single time I talk to someone, I feel like.
Yeah.
But when I was driving over here, what just kind of popped in my head is how stress affects our body. And no matter if it's good stress or bad stress, it's still stress.
Right.
And so even driving over here, I was starting to feel a little bit nervous about being on this show, and that is stress. Even though it's good stress, it's still stress. So what does stress do to our body? And I just watched Inside Out with my daughter last week.
I haven't seen that yet.
Oh, you have to see it. So good.
I know. Okay.
So good.
Yes, I'm gonna
So what I kind of pictured in my head is they have like a little character that's fear, okay? And I kind of picture like the amygdala of your brain. Is it like this little guy who says when something's scary, like, this is scary, like we need to do something. So what he does is he talks to your hippocampus, which is another guy, and I picture him as like a general. And so the amygdala tells the hippocampus, like, we need to do something about this. And the hippocampus talks to the rest of your body, and it says, all right, armpits, you need to start sweating. Like, all right, hands, like, you need to start, like, you know, freaking out a little bit. And
it's kind of like fight or flight response.
Yes, that's
correct?
exactly what it is. It's your fight or flight response. And that releases hormones in your body, cortisol and adrenaline, and it gets everything going. And so what EFT does is it focuses on your amygdala, and it turns your amygdala off, so it's not saying, like, this is really scary. So when you encounter something scary, it turns your amygdala off, and it says, it's okay. You don't have to tell the general, the hippocampus, that we need to, like, do all the crazy things to your body.
It's like a reprogramming of sorts, exactly.
Yes, it's exactly what it is.
And I think if I understand the fight or flight response correctly, that it doesn't know whether you're getting ready to be attacked by a bear or you just...
It responds in the exact same way.
Or you have a story about something you're telling yourself.
Say you got bit by a dog,
Yeah.
okay? Everything is going to fire off. Now, down the line, if you read a story about a dog, or if you hear a dog barking, or you hear someone else talking about a dog, your body is still responding that same way, like as if you got bit by the dog. So it's kind of scary. Like, your amygdala is going off constantly. And especially nowadays, like, there's so much stress in our lives that we really have to find a way to take care of ourselves.
Absolutely.
And for me, I didn't know what to do. Like, I didn't know how to take care of myself because they're like, oh, you should do yoga. You should do this. You should meditate. You know, I'd sit and meditate and I'd be like, man, what I got to get from the grocery store tomorrow? You know, like, what did I do wrong today? Oh, gosh, you know, I screamed at my kid. Like, all these things are popping in my head. And I'm like, meditation, I don't think is for me. Like, it just wasn't working for me.
You have to find what resonates with you.
Yeah.
We have to take a quick break, but when we come back, maybe we can talk about how you first became associated with EFT and how it has helped you. And I know it's helped you in your family life and your children as well, but also now what you're doing in helping others with the same type of work.
Great.
So we'll be right back.
Thank you.
Everyone knows it's easy to find first-run movies in the big theaters. But where can you go to watch your favorite classic movies on the big screen for the perfect night out? Why rent a flick when you can rent the entire theater? Call today to reserve our 32-seat theater for your next event, or just stop by to see what's showing this weekend. The 14 by 7 foot screen and the high quality digital surround sound system offers all the amenities you would expect from the big theaters, with a laid back atmosphere and comfortable seating of your own home. Wofford Theater at 1744 South 10th Street in Noblesville gives you the classic movies you want with a big theater experience.
You know, when Margaret and I decided to sell the old estate here, we had only one choice in signage. Logan Street signs and banners. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore, but rather located on 10th Street on the south side of Noblesville. Well, we sold the old beauty, and we were able to buy this wonderful estate. And we had so much money left over, I was able to buy this beautiful 1968 Eldorado Cadillac for Margaret. Only 472,000 miles. Margaret loves it because it's got those big seats and that heavy-duty suspension to support her svelte frame. Next time you're looking for signs or banners, call old Jim at Logan Street Signs and Banners, 773-7200. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Align Your Life show. Here with Casey Vanputten. She is a certified counselor and EFT practitioner, and today we're talking about emotional freedom technique. So many things that this can assist people with. So, how did you first get started with EFT?
Okay, so it's almost a year ago, like today, like it was in, I think it was even in January, that I was just feeling tired. I was feeling tired. I was a stay-at-home mom. I was stressed out.
Who can relate to that?
No one. I was that mom that, like, when my husband came home from work, I'm like, here, take these kids. Like, I need to get out. Yeah. And I felt like I just wasn't, like, enjoying them, and I just wasn't in a good place. And so I ended up going to the doctor. And, of course, they wanted to write me a prescription because I wasn't sleeping. So let's write me a prescription for sleeping pills and then maybe an antidepressant. And I left, and I'm like, is this really, like, what?
Yeah.
Is this how it goes for everyone? I don't know if this is going to work for me. I want to know why I'm feeling this way. And so I went to a holistic doctor, and they measured my cortisol levels. And my cortisol levels were jacked up. So I went home, and I Googled jacked up cortisol levels, and EFT popped up. And I had seen EFT so many times before. I'm a huge Mercola fan. And Mercola talks about EFT a lot.
He's great.
He actually lives in Hoffman Estates, his office is in Hoffman Estates, which is like 10 minutes from where I grew up.
Oh,
Schaumburg.
really?
Yes.
That's no coincidence.
So I had seen it before, but I'd never really like clicked on it and like really looked at it. And so now that it was kind of hitting a little bit closer to home, I pulled it up and I was like, wow, that's really interesting. I saw a video and I was like, that's something that I could totally do. So then I bought this book, The Tapping Solution, which I kind of recommend is like an intro to tapping book. It's really kind of takes you through exercises so you don't feel like, you know, you're just kind of tapping randomly. It really does a good job of kind of taking you through how to apply it to your life.
And that's authored by Nick Ortner, who I know worked a lot with Dr. Wayne Dyer, did he not?
Yes, he did. So. Yep. I love Nick Ortner. I kind of have a little crush on him. He's very cute.
Yes.
So he's doing a lot with tapping and trying to like make it cool, which I appreciate because it is kind of weird. But so I started and I read the book and I started just doing it on my own. And my husband had to go out of town at the time. He had a different job and he went out of town. And this normally brings a lot of stress for me. I can't sleep. I worry about it. I think about it all night long. So I'm like, I might as well just try this tapping thing. And so, and I hadn't slept in a very long time. Tried the tapping thing, and I slept through the night that night.
Really?
So I was like,
instant results like that. That's amazing.
This is life-changing for me. Because if I can sleep, I'll feel a lot better during the day.
It changes everything.
It changed everything.
We all know what it feels like not to have energy, and then to be a mom and to not have energy is a whole nother ballgame.
And so for me, that was like a turning point for me. And then I ended up going to a workshop because I was just interested. I have a background in counseling, and I was a high school guidance counselor before. And I was like, wow, if I can do this, that like it's a self-help tool, so anyone can do it. If I could teach this to young girls, like how empowering is that?
Absolutely.
So I went to a workshop, and they were looking for a volunteer from the audience to come up and do a demo. And I'm like, well, I'll throw my name in that hat. Like, I'm up for anything. And he ended up picking me. And my thing was, I'm afraid to drive on the highway.
Okay.
And so when I get on the highway, everything sweats. Like, I get nervous and, like, everything tenses up and I start to freak out. And so I was like, I'll throw that, see what he does with that. So I got up there and I started tapping. He started tapping with me, and all of a sudden I started bawling.
Wow.
And he's like, well, what's popping in your head? And I said, well, the memory of my friend got into a car accident and died on the highway right before I got my license.
Wow.
Had never thought about that.
It never came to you
Never,
before. That just
ever.
gave me chills when you said it, yeah.
And so we tapped through that, and I was able to drive home to Chicago that night, or drive home from Chicago to Indiana that night, which I didn't plan. I was supposed to go home and stay with my parents, and I was able to do that because of the tapping. Fantastic. So it's just like one thing after another. And I was like, well, if I can do it myself and I can do it with teenage girls, I could probably do it with my kids too.
So I'm going to interrupt you for 1 second. When you work on something like that, one specific issue like the highway issue that you were facing, and you tap it out and then you can drive, is it something that you continue to tap on?
Well, I still tap a little bit before. I feel like I cleared it for the most part, but you'll always get different. I'm afraid because I saw a car accident.
Trigger.
Yes.
Yeah, that you never thought of.
Oh my gosh! And driving to Chicago for Christmas, the roads were so icy, and it was really like we would go through the water, and the water would like go over our windshield, and I couldn't see anything. I tapped the entire way.
Yeah.
Like that for me. And normally I would be like really kind of short with my husband, and I was able to stay calm, and I just tapped the entire time.
So you can start tapping and almost kind of stop dead in the tracks that fight or flight response happening, which is then just allowing your body to be to naturally operate and not have
and it
all
gives
of
you
these
something
out
to
of
do.
whack, cortisol levels.
You know,
and things
instead
like
of
that.
feeling so out of control.
Yeah, so not only do you feel better, but then all of those, when your cortisol levels are out of whack and all that, it has adverse effects. It's like a domino. It has adverse effects and other health issues. So amazing. Okay.
Yeah.
So then you decided you could use it with your children.
Yes.
And
so I
you
started doing it with my daughter and with
how
my
old is
son.
she?
My daughter is 5 years old. And Kinley, hi Kinley.
Hi Kinley.
And then my little boy Grady, who is 2.5 now.
Grady.
And yes, there is tapping music. There's one called Happy Child, which I strongly recommend. It totally gets in your head, and you're probably gonna hate me for it, but it's really cute, and the kids love it. And I have like videos of my kids doing it, and so they'll tap along with that. But also, like my daughter, I'll just see her because she sees me doing it so much and modeling it. You know, kids are sponges, and however I act, like that's how.
It doesn't really matter what you say. Words don't teach. It's really your actions. Yeah.
So I'll see her, and she'll be like tapping away, tapping on the points, and be like, "Ken, what's the matter?" And she'll be like, "I just really miss Opa."
Aww.
And so she knows that when she starts to feel those emotions, she's already tapping. And it may not be all the right points, and that doesn't matter. That's one thing. Is like you don't have to tap on all the points. You know, if when I was driving on the highway in the craziness and iciness, I was just right here, tapping the entire way.
And it's not about not feeling the emotions, because I think that's important.
Nope.
It's completely different than that.
Yep.
Yeah.
If it's affecting you in a negative way where it's stressing you out, then, and she knows. And my son, well, my husband thinks that, you know, it's all crazy, but my son will walk up and just start like tapping on my daughter. If she is, you know, acting out or whatever, he'll just walk up and start tapping on her. Or he like fell out of his crib one time, and he started tapping on himself.
Oh my gosh, that's
amazing. The fact that he is 2.5 years old, like if he can do it at 2.5, like anyone can do it.
Absolutely.
So
let's talk about then when you're tapping. We have to take another quick break in a minute, so maybe when we get back. When you're tapping, I know that you're hitting on certain meridian points, energy points in the body. But like you were just saying, it doesn't really matter. You don't have to be precise. It doesn't have to be perfect.
It's
just
so
like
forgiving.
anything in life. Yeah. It's not about
and like
perfection.
there are specific meridian endpoints associated with specific emotions. So this is a good one for fear.
Okay.
So when I had to give a speech, it was actually like a presentation in front of a group of people that knew about EFT. I just, for the first couple minutes, just tapped on this point while I was talking.
Wow, that's awesome. I love it. And then what about, too, my other question is going to be, we do have to take a break, but what if somebody doesn't believe it? It's like, this is not working, but they're doing it.
Yeah, so, well, I didn't believe it.
I'd love to hear. Awesome. Let's hear what you have to say about that. We have to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Everyone knows it's easy to find first-run movies in the big theaters. But where can you go to watch your favorite classic movies on the big screen for the perfect night out? Why rent a flick when you can rent the entire theater? Call today to reserve our 32-seat theater for your next event, or just stop by to see what's showing this weekend. The 14 by 7 foot screen and the high quality digital surround sound system offers all the amenities you would expect from the big theaters, with a laid back atmosphere and comfortable seating of your own home. Wofford Theater at 1744 South 10th Street in Noblesville gives you the classic movies you want with a big theater experience.
You know, when Margaret and I decided to sell the old estate here, we had only one choice in signage. Logan Street signs and banners. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore, but rather located on 10th Street on the south side of Noblesville. Well, we sold the old beauty, and we were able to buy this wonderful estate. And we had so much money left over, I was able to buy this beautiful 1968 Eldorado Cadillac for Margaret. Only 472,000 miles. Margaret loves it because it's got those big seats and that heavy-duty suspension to support her svelte frame. Next time you're looking for signs or banners, call old Jim at Logan Street Signs and Banners, 773-7200. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore.
Hey everyone. Welcome back to the Align Your Life show, here with Casey Vanputten, certified counselor and EFT practitioner. We've been talking about emotional freedom technique and have not even scratched the surface. I have almost 2 pages of questions, and I think I've gotten through 2. So we decided she'll be coming back at some point soon, and we'll give you her contact information too. So in the meantime, you can reach out to her. But so let's talk about, before the break, I was saying how I want to know if someone doesn't believe it, because again, it is weird, but it's just like anything else. Once you do it a little, it becomes less and less weird, and then it becomes the norm. And if it's something that can help you, who cares if it's weird? You know, you can do it in the privacy of your home. You don't have to do it with a facilitator or a practitioner, although probably should start out that way. Would you say?
Yeah, you can. I mean, I definitely saw a lot more movement when I've worked with other people than just doing it by myself. And you kind of just get more comfortable with it when you're working with someone else and they're kind of feeding you the script a little bit. But for me, like, I just read the book and started doing it a little bit with myself. But if you wanna really get movement, or especially if you have a background, and I had a background with some serious issues, and like those types of things, you might want to work with someone on.
And so if someone is starting it because they just feel like it could help them, but they just haven't bought into the whole idea yet, they're still going to receive results. Does that matter?
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to work. That was the whole thing. Like, I was skeptical of it. It is super weird. So you don't have to believe in it, and that's what's cool about, like, it's research based. There's research to support EFT. A lot of the other energy modalities, there's not a lot of research behind. But what EFT has done is Dawson. I always want to say Dawson Creek, but that's not his name. Dawson Church.
DC.
I have to do that.
I have to tap on that.
Yeah, I know. Dawson Creek. No. Dawson Church has done a lot of really great research with EFT, and he is a trainer through EFT Universe, which is who I have trained through. Oprah recommended it, so I had to go through that one.
Absolutely.
But he's done research to show that he actually took like 3 groups, and one group was traditional counseling, one group was no counseling, and then the third group was EFT. And he measured their cortisol levels. And he found that cortisol levels, like, they dropped by some as much as 50% with the EFT group. And they actually did brain scans.
Wow.
So you don't have to believe it. Your body is already showing that. So that's
bodies
the cool
are miraculous,
thing.
They're
going
to respond to.
But they show your amygdala turning off as you're tapping. That's what the brain scans showed.
So let's talk about some of the research and specifically how it works. We mentioned earlier meridian points, energy points. People may not be familiar with that. So what is that? What are we stimulating?
So it works along the exact same thing as acupuncture. So ancient Chinese medicine, it's been around for 5,000 years. So what EFT does is it's combining ancient Chinese medicine and then modern psychology, which is super cool. And what it's doing is you're tapping on these meridian endpoints, the meridian system that acupuncture uses. And through tapping on these meridian points, the endpoint is, those are related to different organs in your body and different emotions. And when you're tapping on them, that's when the amygdala is turning off. And that's when the energy frees up. So if you think of like your energy running through your body like a river. If like a tree gets in the way or in a stressful event, the energy stops. The water stops going through it. It creates a dam. It's the same thing with your body. And so through tapping, it kind of takes that tree off and lets the energy move more freely.
That's a great depiction.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never thought of it
Love
that way.
metaphors.
Yeah, exactly. I know I mentioned in my Facebook post that EFT can help with New Year's resolutions. And I know a lot of people right now are maybe trying to eat better or trying to lose weight, get motivated to get back into the gym and exercise. So how does this help situations like that?
Yeah, well, a big thing I say is creating vision boards.
Yes.
Vision boards?
Absolutely. I have one hanging up in my office right now.
Yes, those are awesome.
Yeah.
And what I have told people is to just sit with that vision board or those resolutions, say them out loud and just think, what's the voice in your head that's fighting the positive outcome for that. So say you want to lose weight. What's telling you can't lose weight? What are some of those thoughts that are popping in your head? Those are the things that you want to tap on.
And you're going to say those specific things out loud. So
sure.
Maybe it's...
Yeah, and sit with them and see, or look in the mirror and say them. And what's fighting that? What's really getting in the way of it? Is it not getting to the gym? Well, I can't go to the gym because, I don't want to put my exercise outfit on or whatever is kind of popping in your head. I'm going to be stupid working out, Yeah. What are those things? Those negative things that are going through your head, that's what you want to tap on. And people kind of think with EFT, they get hung up on well, why are you addressing the negative all the time?
Yeah, because you're speaking out give an example. You're saying, just because I...
So even though I'm so angry that this happened to me at work yesterday, so you're talking about your anger. Well, shouldn't you just say no, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. With the Louise Hay and the affirmations, you want to think positively and all this stuff. And we're so trained to believe that, but there's an elephant in the room and it's called anger. You got to address that elephant and you have to be honest with yourself. And that's what you focus on is those negative emotions. Because once you clear out those negative emotions, then you have room for the positive part.
Right. Absolutely.
And that's what I do is in a session, we focus on the negative, and at the end I call it happy tappy.
I love it, happy tappy.
Where then you can, once you've cleared all that stuff out, now we can put some positive in there.
That's fantastic.
So, yeah.
I love it. Well, we are winding down. Again, did not even scratch the surface. So we'll come up with a date and time for you to come back on the show so we can talk about this a lot more. Let's talk about real quick any workshops, anything coming up at Superheroes with regard to EFT or anything else that's going on, because I know there's so many amazing things.
We have so many cool things to do at Superheroes. First of all, these lovely things here, which I brought. Superheroes has a store now. If you haven't been in there for a while, we do sell Ava Anderson non-toxic products, which are awesome. Are you familiar with Ava Anderson?
I am. Okay. Yeah, non-toxic. Love
it. Fantastic stuff. Great for detoxing your body. You focus on the body. I focus on the mind, the emotions, and stuff, and it's all connected.
It is.
Body, mind, spirit's all connected.
Absolutely.
So we do have a store. We have stress balls and things for kids. This is one of my favorites because I think it's so cute. This is a Scentsy guy. So you actually put a little pack, a lavender pack in its body, and it smells like, relaxing lavender, which has actually been proven to turn off your amygdala as well.
Awesome.
Lavender has.
Yes. Very calming.
So just products like that. But we do have some cool things going on too. We're doing 3D printing at Superheroes.
Very cool.
We are the only ones in Indiana doing that right now, which is fantastic.
Yes.
We have Janie Dickinson is doing math camps in which kids actually print out their own manipulatives with a 3D printer, which is kind of different. Tara Frieden is doing sign language classes.
Fantastic.
I have, of course, I'm offering EFT, and then I do a group the first Tuesday of every month, kind of like an intro to tapping.
What time is
that? 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock, first Tuesday of every month. So
tonight.
There's one tonight. Perfect timing. Check it out. Go to Superheroes, 7 o'clock.
And then Elizabeth Kramer, the owner of Superheroes, is running some groups too. The Nifty 50s.
Oh, I love it.
For women in their 50s, it might be empty nesters, feeling stresses of aging, and want to feel vital and confident. She's doing a Triple E group, empowerment, education, and energizing for parents with challenging children, which is there's so many parents that just, if you have a challenging kid, that's so stressful.
It's stressful when you don't have a challenging kid.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
A Thriving in the Battle group, and that is for chronic illness sufferers, which is a really great population. There's so many people suffering from chronic illness, and just the emotional part of that is really connecting with other people that feel that as well.
Yeah.
Wondrous, Beautiful You. This group is to help rediscover their confidence, self-esteem, inner strength, and who they are in Christ. So more of a religious-based women's group. We have Ava Anderson Non-Toxic Party scheduled in February.
Fantastic.
And then Elizabeth told me that they're having a downtown Abbey party in March and watching the last episode together.
Oh, how fun.
So just some fun things.
Get your girls together.
Oh, and then we're adding the new coaches, which is I was telling you about. So David Brew and Denise Rasonia.
Denise Rasonia has a show here. Yes, a lot of you know her. It's very exciting.
So we'll be adding them to Superheroes. I'm super excited to meet with them. And I think one of them is an author. I can't remember. Denise, an author. And then she has her, it's fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, together we're just so much better. So I love everything that you have going on. Thanks so much for coming by today.
Thanks for having me.
I'm so excited. And again, Casey will be back. Tell us how people can reach you in case in the meantime they do want to reach out and get some more information or maybe come see you.
Yeah, well, they can contact Superheroes. And we have a website, wesuperheroes.com. We also have the Facebook page, which is Superheroes Fishers. And then that number on the screen you can contact, and that'll reach either Elizabeth Kramer or myself.
What is that number just for the listeners who are listening on the radio?
It is 317-288-9141. And then you can find me specifically on Facebook. I am the Crunchy Munchy Mom.
Yes, great page. Love it. Thanks again so much for being here.
Thank you.
What a fun show. Thank you for being here too, everyone. Again, my name is Jenny Parks. You can find me at Jenny Parks at AlignYourLifeWellness.com or just connect on Facebook. That's always the easiest way. My number, of course, 317-945-8268. Thanks so much for being here. Happy New Year. Yes, so glad you were here today. And we will see you next Tuesday at 2 o'clock, or you can watch the recording as always. See you soon. Thank you again. Bye-bye.